So we're up in El Reno, Oklahoma, just outside of OKC. It's a beautiful day. Obviously, we're here to highlight a project that we're doing with these 29 tanks at this manufacturing facility. Steve, this is your project. Why don't you just kind of give us a real brief overview of what we're doing with these tanks?
Sure. So this manufacturing facility produces a flammable product, and the product that's in these tanks is solvent. And so the client every year comes and power washes these tanks. They have a little bit of challenge on this job site, and that is that directly behind these tanks there's a freight train that runs through here, and it really kicks up and regularly drops dirt all over the tanks, and they almost get to a black soot. Another factor that's also a problem is that there's a concrete manufacturing plant directly behind the factory here, so they've got a twofold problem in how they have to deal with these tanks every year. This company is going to bring in people from out of town and go do tours within their tanks.
Exactly.
And these black tanks, when they come and see them, are an eyesore for anybody that's coming through here. So there's an aesthetic value to the work that we're doing today.
That is definitely an issue because this is a showcase piece for this manufacturer. There's also the issue of over time these tanks can really, the coating can really be compromised if it's not maintained. Is that correct?
That's correct. We've noticed a lot more failures with the coating system, and so we brought it to our clients' attention, especially the tops of the tanks that are exposed to UV sunlight like we're dealing with right now at this moment. And so the whole tops of the tanks, the coatings were compromised, so we had to come up with a system for our client to go back and recoat it.
Okay, so if there's not a good coating that's reflective, then the actual tank itself could be compromised.
That's correct.
So really what we're doing is we're beautifying, but we're also really protecting. That's really probably even more importantly than beautifying, is protecting these tanks.
Yeah, so we came out and we power washed the tanks, cleaned all of the soot and dust off the tanks. There were some areas where there was open rustable steel, and we addressed that in terms of spot priming those particular areas to get that sealed down. And then our next step after that process was to wrap the whole tank in a high-performance epoxy as its first base coat. And then the finish coat, which the guys are doing right now, is a urethane that we then followed up with and then sealed out the entire tank.
So we're doing a full primer coat with a two-part epoxy.
That's correct.
And then we're going back over that with a urethane.
Right.
We manage our projects really tight. We plan them out. We have pre-construction meetings before we ever set foot on a job site. It's our planning and our execution of a plan that really helps us to be successful.
When it comes to this project, we need our own experienced guys doing the work. So we don't go out and find just a random guy to join the tank crew. Juan is our 20-year veteran out here on this job. He's done these a whole bunch of times.
Yeah.
This company, Gemini, knew our reputation. They knew our experience level, and they knew that we were going to get done in, about 2.5 weeks. So that's how quickly we got done. And there might be somebody that wants to attempt to DIY this. I wouldn't suggest it.
No.
This is not the job
you can DIY repainting the receptionist's office, but a DIY approach on this type of tank farm would be a huge mistake.
Oh, and we're putting a 3-year warranty, a workmanship warranty on all this work. So 3 years, we own this.
That's right.
We're going to take care of this facility. Any issue that comes up with the paint job that we did is going to be handled at that point. So peeling, blistering, failing paint, anything that happens on a job, we're going to take that because we want our client to have the insurance that this is something they don't have to worry about.
Right. Exactly. That's what we bring to the table, is 100% confidence that when we leave a project, it's done right. And if there's any issues, all they got to do is pick up the phone and call us. We'd love to talk to you about your next project, whether it's a tank farm or an exterior of a building or interior, whatever. If it's commercial or industrial, we're your guys. Stevens Commercial Painting, the sky's the limit.